in our last talk, we had covered the 1st century BC, which was the life of Joshua ben Pandira, known to the world as Jesus Christ. Today, we're going to continue with the 1st century AD and see who was on the scene as a witness to this occurrence. These are some maps that this student brought. This is the map of the Roman Empire. We need to kind of have a little bit of a bearing as to what the world looked like then and where this stuff is taking place. As you can see from this map, the most of Europe, as we know it, here is Spain, France, and all these, Italy. This is Greece, but back then the Roman Empire included a very large portion. This is today's Turkey, and this is where I couldn't get it all in one, but I'm continuing over here. And here's the regions, and this is Syria. This is very important because we need to understand where the teaching of the this philosophy was being extended. It was very large. Thanks. Yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you. And this is ancient Greece. It can just stay right there like that. It's okay. And we'll add other maps to it as we move towards the east. This student did not have any idea as to the controversy that existed during the 1st century AD when Apollonius of Tyana, who was on the scene, was causing. And let us see why. I got this from the Theosophical writings. I do not know who the author is. It says here, Jesus the Christ was a member of that great fraternity of adepts which stands behind the Theosophical movement. His aim and purpose, therefore, was to promulgate the fundamental principles of the ancient wisdom religion, to exemplify those principles in practice, to give the world a truer realization of the self and a profounder conviction of universal brotherhood. Jesus did not come to found a new religion, but to purify the old religion of its dross. He did not come to bring new dogmas, to replace with universal principles the narrow dogmatism that had crept into the Jewish religion. He did not come to establish a new form of priestcraft, but to destroy the power of the priests and give knowledge to the people themselves. Human nature was the same then as it is now, however, and the prophet of Galilee met the same fate that has befallen most of the representatives of the Theosophical movement, who incarnated with but one purpose, to benefit mankind. The impersonal doctrines that he taught were soon perverted by his personal followers, and the bond of brotherhood that he tried to establish was soon rent asunder by creeds and sects. So this is the reason. We will talk about this in another talk, but today's will not cover the Christianity of that century. We would like to discuss the presence of Apollonius of Tyana, who was the witness on the scene. So who was Apollonius of Tyana? There is a book by that name called Apollonius of Tyana, and Mead is the writer of it. And this student read it several times, but I was not much wiser at the end of it because it does not really give much information. So this, what I have to give today, has been gathered from the Theosophical literature. As we read in The Voice of the Silence, the journey of the human soul is a very long one. It takes millions and millions of years to have a perfected being evolve, because HPB says we are not made and they are not made either. They evolve, they become. This is from Mancur Conway, and he says in Modern Thought, the world has been for a long time engaged in writing lives of Jesus. In the fourth gospel it is said, there are also many other things that Jesus did, the which, if they should be written, everyone, I suppose, that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen. The library of such books has grown since then, but when we come to examine them, one startling fact confronts us. All of these books relate to a personage concerning whom there does not seem to be a single scrap of contemporary information. Well, what about Apollonius of Tyana? Not so. He left behind a complete philosophical system, and his writings were saved by Julia Domna, the wife of Severus, Emperor Severus, Byzantine Empire, Roman Empire, and Philostratus composed a book of these writings, which we will talk in a little bit. Who was Apollonius of Tyana? A bit of comparison there to Christ, about whom we know very little. It says here, Apollonius belonged to a prominent and well-known family whose ancestors had founded the city of Tyana, where he was born. And here we're talking about, it's very small. In this region here is the Cappadocia starting, and this is Cappadocia, and I marked with a yellow mark where he was born, which is Tyana. So he was really born in what is known today as Turkey, Central Turkey. And his birth, as all Immaculate's birth are concerned, is full of myth. But how to present it? It says here that when his mother was pregnant with him, she was told to go to a meadow, and the swans appeared, clapping their wings. And whether this is real or not, the student is not able to say, or it is a myth. But he is obviously indicated as being an immaculate birth. He was friends of Emperor Vespasian, and that is, again, we are here in the Roman Empire, 69 to 79 AD. He was also the advisor of Marcus Aurelius, who admits that he owes all of his philosophy to Apollonius. Quote, "From Apollonius I have learned freedom of will and understanding, a steadiness of purpose, and to look to nothing else, not even for a moment, except to reason." And this is, he was an emperor of the empire, 161 to 180 AD. Jesus was not a traveling adept, but Apollonius of Tyana was. And this is why this map is up here, because he covered a tremendous distance to teach. Everywhere he went, he taught. He taught in Spain. He taught in Italy. He taught in Greece. He taught in Macedonia. Right in this region is Cappadocia, Tarsus, Eastern Turkey, where he was educated. That's where the school was. So keep that. The reason is, why was his presence as an adept questioned? Can an ordinary person truly travel the distances and go all the way to Kashmir, it's a little bit similar to HPB's travels. I'm saying that it is a bit difficult for ordinary folks to undertake this kind of lifestyle. So, what did he do? He was born in here, Tyana, and he had tremendous intellect as a young child. At 14, his father sends him to Tarsus, which is a city right here in the Mediterranean, right here. It was a center of learning back then, and he's educated there, and at 16, he asks his father if he can please go to the eastern side of Turkey, because this is, remember, these are the Greek islands in the eastern part of Turkey, and this is kind of one area back then for schooling. So he is sent there, and at the age of 16 he is accepted to the temple of Asclepius, and he is inducted into the wisdom religion at the age of 16. So he became an initiate at the age of 16. That's a very young age. But he was brilliant. He had a tremendous capacity and mind. It says in the writings that he from then on did not eat meat. He did not drink wine. He did not wear any clothing but things that was made from vegetable materials. He would not touch the skin or any other material that came from animals. He remained there, and then at the end of his stay there, he took an oath not to speak. For 5 years, he did not speak. So, from a very young age, then, we see that he is a follower of the Pythagorean principles in life. So, Apollonius then traveled in Italy, Greece, Spain, Africa, Asia Minor, Persia, and finally ended up in India. This part here, which is part of the empire, Libya and so forth today, but it was Mauritania back then. So he also taught in this region and also here in Egypt, in the Delta Valley. In Athens, it says, Apollonius taught from the same porch which had once echoed to the wisdom of Socrates. He lectured on the island of Samos, here, where Pythagoras had conducted his school. He spoke in the grounds where Plato's academy had stood. He taught in the temple of Apollo in Delphi, and it's right here. It's a very wide area we're covering. Above the entrance of which was engraved, it says, these immortal words, "Man, know thyself." He was teaching in Crete on the day the great eruption of Vesuvius took place, when the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum was destroyed. He taught in Italy, Spain, and northern Africa. He lived for a long time in the city of Alexandria, holding his classes in the temple of Serapis.